Got up out these streets and made it. Tell me how did we get here? From the middle of nowhere. Up about these streets we made it. What's goody, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bullets Gotti. We live. It's a night live. I really didn't want to do a live, but I said, you know what? I gotta do a live. And a couple of topics I really want to address. You know, yesterday I had a conversation about something on Clubhouse. I said, you know, a lot of these people be on here complaining about the community. But I asked them, what is you doing for the youth? Right? What is you doing for your community? Because all I hearing is a bunch of nonsense, bunch of fake YouTubers beefing, and they ain't doing nothing for the youth. They don't even care about the youth, but they got so much to say about this and that. So, needless to say more, I seen something on the internet. You know me, I always be looking at the latest stuff that's been going on. So it's a story that I talked about on my Instagram page about this guy named Eric Orwoll. That's his name, Orwoll. Basically he got a community out there in Ozark, Arkansas, where it's basically a whites only community. That's what he's saying, a whites only community. Now, I was on I was on Twitter actually. Or they don't call it Twitter, it's no more Twitter, it's called X. So I'm on X and I hear this guy, which is the guy that started this all whites only community. So I'm listening to him, I'm listening to this conversation and his approach and what he's talking about in his community. And a lot of this stuff is like, the guy said he's not a white supremacist or he's not a white nationalist, but he said he's a white identifier, right? So I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. So you're not a white nationalist, you're not a white supremacist. You created a whole title of who you are. It makes me scratch my head. But then I said, hold on. I remember Richard Spencer, the guy that was the surfer, that was the leader of the alt-right movement, that came on the scene. They cleaned him up. They cut his hair. He stopped surfing. They put a suit on him. And then he became this spokesman for this alt-right movement. See, a lot of these dudes, like I said, with Alex Jones and a lot of these dudes that get on the internet, man, they are basically Manchurian candidates that are created, and basically they're given platforms and they're given a conversation piece. You know, modern day grifters, whether they are black identifiers or white identifiers, whoever they are, they all have the same typical story. They come out of nowhere. You don't know who these people are. And then they push out an agenda basically because they are created by the powers that be to keep, whether it is the funk, the vision, whatever it is. So when I looked at this guy Eric Orwoll and I'm listening to him, and then I'm checking him out and I'm watching his videos, this guy is about spirituality. He talks about Hinduism. He talks about yoga, vegan. So this guy is a guy that if you listen to him and you just listen to his platform and then you just watch him, different from him and Richard Spencer put on a suit and started looking like basically a whole politician. This guy looks like a guy you'll see shopping, drinking a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and he dresses like he shops at Century 21, and he has the whole hipster look. So to me, I always identify uh, a lot of these created players, because that's what I'm starting to call these people. They not, I can't call them agents. They more like created players, because that's what they starting to become. A lot of these guys, the black guys, the white guy, they all created players in my book. And dude is like a straight up created player. It's like they molded him. He looked just like Richard Spencer. If you put his picture in Richard Spencer picture, you'd be like, damn. You know, and then Richard Spencer, if you listen to him now, he has a centrist, more liberal leaning approach than when he came on the scene. And I'm like, oh, so these guys, when they don't accomplish the mission, they start talking different and becoming whole new people. You know? So I just didn't understand like this whole, creative player. But, I listened to what he was saying, and a lot of what he was saying, it just didn't make no sense. And then this white guy came on there. He said, you trying to make a white-owned city when there's a bunch of white cities, whites-only cities that you can take your people to. So even white conservative guys that just have that same conservative ideology is listening, and they saying this doesn't make any sense. Because if you go to places like Vermont, New Hampshire, Charlottesville, and Virginia, West Virginia, there's places where Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, there's places where it's predominantly only just white people there. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of black people. So when he said that, it just didn't make any sense. But I always remember when peace, chilling with love. How you doing, Queen? I always remember. So my boyfriend kept my Valentine's gift. That's crazy. So you all cried up. Okay, I get it. So you all cried out. You all cried out. Like Lisa. It's cool. Sorry to hear that though. But yeah, smash the like button. If y'all coming in here, smash the like button. So what I was saying was, when he says like the old white cities, it just didn't make any sense. It don't make any sense to anybody that's a real rational thinker that's saying there's predominantly a lot of white only cities. You got white only cities in Georgia, you got white only cities in Mississippi, wherever you want to name in America, there's a white only city. South Carolina, North Carolina, there's many white only cities. So when he says he's building his own white only town, it just didn't make any sense. But a lot of these people, like I said, they created players. They come out on the scene. Every couple years there's a new created player that's created on the internet. I'm convinced a lot of these people are just created people. Like I remember they had the gay, guy Milo. You don't even see that dude Milo no more. Like he was supposed to be like this white nationalist. He was alt-right. The next thing you know, you don't even see him no more. And then I saw a video of him. He talking a whole new tune. That's why I say these guys is not white supremacists. They're not even white nationalists. They're just people that is manipulators, and they know how to manipulate the minds and the souls of a people. See, when I look at people that have white nationalists, or maybe have white nationalist thoughts, or Anglo-Saxons, I'll go back to the William F. Buckleys, the Lee Atwaters, the David Dukes. See, those are people that, that was the real deal. A lot of these people that's on the social media age, you could tell they not the real deal. A lot of them don't even believe what they saying. They're not even real conservatives. They're just people that just is propped up. They find these people out of nowhere. They get these people, they don't have any money. Let's just keep it real. A lot of these people be broke, okay? So they got to find them a gimmick and a character. It's like looking for an actor, a struggling actor. A lot of these people are struggling actors. So they make these people become who they are. They give them a conversation. They turn them into this character. It's like I was watching the chick, right? Her name is Lily. Forgot her last name, but she has a channel, right? She was the chick that was on. I think she was on TikTok, and she had like a spout where she was just talking about her girlfriends dating black dudes that was athletes, right? So Candace Owens did an interview with her. Then she just disappeared from the scene. Then she popped back up on the scene with her platform, and she just been on this, going in on black people and all this. But when she first came on, she was like, "Oh, I'm a single mother, and I'm just traditional values and stuff like that, right?" And then she comes back on the scene. She went on Piers Morgan and had the whole outburst calling people the N-word, right? And then she becomes this pundit. But I keep trying to tell people this. Created characters. If you watch how they come on the scene, and then you watch how when they really start to get the momentum, they tunes start to change. They start becoming different people. And then you give it like 5, 6 years, 7 years later, they turn into who they really were. Or I'm not even like, this was all a gimmick. This is all an act. So all this shit is scripted. All this shit is smoke and mirrors. That's why I say I don't believe anything with any of these people. I don't believe any of these people that come online that make it seem like, that's their approach. Because a lot of these people don't believe anything half of what they see. A lot of these people are not even nationalists. You know what I'm saying? If you see them offline, they're not even they're not what they pretending to be. Just like I said, look at the guy Milo. Look at him. Perfect example. This is a guy that was a gay guy, and now he's an ex-gay. He said he stopped being gay. And how you stop being gay? You said you was a gay guy. You had this approach. You came on there. You were supposed to be this white supremacist, and then whoop-de-doo, you changed your whole tone. That's why I don't believe any of these people. Like, same with the Richard Spencer dude. Richard Spencer, he came on the scene. He said, "I'm not a Nazi. That's not what I am." And then you look at his history. He was a guy that was a surfer. He was a surfer. He had long hair. He didn't, believe anything what he was saying, because that's not what he was. And then switch it up around. You look at this guy now. He's this centrist, left-leaning talking guy. That's why I say a lot of these people they be frauds, man. You know what I'm saying? I could spot these gimmicky people, man. Because, one thing about me is when you study people and you understand the art of human nature, you understand the laws of attraction, and you understand the deception and the gimmicks that people have to do on the internet. Everybody, if people was real, what they say they were, and they was these revolutionaries, they were these separatists and all this. You know what happened to people? Like, I'm going to keep it real, right? Norman Rockwell. Look him up if y'all don't know who he is, right? Norman Rockwell, right? And this is what I always say about people like that's really standing for what they standing for, right? So Norman Lincoln Rockwell, right, was the head of the neo-Nazis, right? He was the big dog, right? Did a whole interview with Alex Haley. Alex Haley did his whole life. Marlon Brando played him in the movie Next Generation. So George Lincoln Rockwell was a true, white nationalist, white supremacist. He went to the Nation of Islam, to one of Malcolm X speeches at the time, right? He went to one of his speeches, and he sat there. He was basically an open-minded person, right? Because he was a man of history, and he was a stoic man of understanding what it was. So what happened to him is what happened to a lot of these people, right? That I got you. Yeah, What happened to a lot of these people, that was true nationalists, he was a true nationalist. Just like how, Adolf was. And he too got assassinated, got killed, right? So I always say, when you a true nationalist, or you somebody that stands for what you stand for, these people don't live. They get either assassinated, or they do crazy time in jail. So that's why I say I don't believe half of these people that say they white separatists or anything. I believe that these dudes are just gimmicky people that just get on a platform and just want to, talk to the world and make them understand that, oh, this is what I want to be. And I wake up in the morning and say that I'm a nationalist. Like, it's crazy to me, you know. But this YouTube world is crazy, you know. No. I understand, but I just say what it is. That, these people are grifters. They get talking points, they come on here, and they created characters. We got to look at what these people is. When you see a person just pop up on the scene out of nowhere, shout out to Baltimore in the building. Yeah, shout out to Baltimore. When you pop up on the scene out of nowhere, you got to look at these people's character. Look at these people's history. People don't ask these people, so what were you doing before this? So it is what it is. I don't really want to get too deep into it, but I just wanted to say, a lot of these people created characters. So the guy, what's his name? Eric Orwoll, he's a created character, just being honest. He's Richard Spencer Part 2. I don't get it, but it is what it is. These people just come on the net. They create themselves, and they get paid to do what they do. You get it with a lot of the people in the black community. But let me get to this Umar shit, because I don't want to really spend too much on that. But I just wanted to talk about, these grifters. So let me get to this Umar shit. So I saw everybody going in on Umar, and dudes are saying, yeah, make sure y'all double tap the screen, smash the like button, please. So I seen people talking about Umar Johnson, how he out here scamming people, right? I see all the people that made videos on them Doggy Diamonds, mad people, Gully TV, Hassan, Harlem Legend, everybody in black YouTube, Angry Man, everybody made a video about Umar, how he begging for money, right? And I say to myself, all of you guys that's on YouTube do the same thing that Umar do. You are all scammers. All of you. Everybody that has an issue with Umar Johnson, right? That's saying he's a scammer, saying he's this, saying he's that, right? Y'all do the same thing that he does. Y'all get mad when people don't donate to y'all. I've never in my life asked my supporters to donate. If they donate, they donate. I appreciate if y'all do donate and show love, if y'all wanted to, but I'm not forcing y'all to donate. But if y'all want to show love, y'all could hit the Cash App, $ Bullets Gotti, but I don't force y'all to do that. See, what a lot of y'all dudes do, y'all force y'all people to donate. The only reason why y'all go live is that if the people don't donate to y'all channels, y'all shut y'all lives off. I noticed that about y'all dudes. So how can y'all brag, how can I say, lambasted Umar Johnson and bang on him when y'all all the same type of people? Y'all all the same. All y'all doing videos on Umar is all the same to me. Y'all all the same. Y'all all do what he does. Y'all ain't never helping out no black community. Y'all, like, when I hear y'all dudes talk, like, what programs half of y'all dudes is putting in the community? What is y'all doing for the youth? How is y'all stopping the out-risk youth from out here killing and shooting in all these major cities? Whether you in the South, whether you in the Midwest, whether you in the North, what are y'all dudes doing in their communities? But just talking. That's all y'all dudes doing. So when I see the Anton Daniels or I see the Myron Gaines, and I see all these dudes do videos on Umar, and I'm saying to myself, all of y'all are the same. Y'all have a gift to gab. Y'all have a great gift to gab. Y'all talk a good game, but y'all really don't stand for anything. Y'all not giving back to your hoods. Y'all not solving the problem in the black community. Y'all see it's a problem, right? Y'all say, oh, it's a problem. The community is this, the community is that. But what is y'all doing to solve the issues? Y'all not doing anything to solve the issues. Y'all just up here talking a bunch of nothing and ain't doing nothing. Okay? Y'all are just the same as Dr. Umar Johnson. All of y'all dudes is the same. Y'all not trying to save the babies. Y'all not trying to save the community. What y'all trying to do is fatten y'all pockets, blow money, buying cars, tricking on women. That's what y'all do. Buying jewelry. Because all of y'all dudes get up here flossing with your jewels. Every last one of y'all get up here flossing with your jewelry, flossing with your designer glasses. You know what I'm saying? Flossing. And then got the nerve to talk about, oh, this nigga scamming. What the hell is y'all niggas doing? Y'all no different than Umar Johnson. That's why I say, man, the community is a bunch of cappers, bro. A bunch of cappers, a bunch of liars, and a bunch of dudes that get up on the platforms and make it seem like they doing something when they ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about the man is broke, he want money, but what is y'all really doing, man? What is y'all really doing? Y'all all the same, man. Y'all all the same. Y'all all scammers. Y'all all users, and y'all all deceptive. Y'all full of deception. You know what I'm saying? And that's the smoke and mirrors that y'all dudes do when it comes on YouTube. Y'all don't have any real, how can I say, values or moral system for the so-called community, or the so-called what you like to say, bringing back and showing love and bringing information. Y'all don't care about information or showing love or none of that. What y'all care about is fattening y'all pockets and talking a whole lot of BS. That's what y'all do. So when I watch y'all platforms, I already know y'all dudes full of nothing, but it is what it is, man. Y'all come on y'all platforms, y'all talk about this and y'all drag them in. Like, I'm listening to dudes talking like, oh, they really doing something in their community. They ain't doing nothing in their community, man. All they doing is all they doing is blowing money and talking a bunch of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Talking a bunch of nonsense. If I'd have see, this is my thing with a lot of y'all YouTube characters. If y'all was really about what y'all say y'all was, and y'all standing on business, and Umar's this and Umar's that, then y'all dudes, I would have seen more of you dudes in the community having basketball programs for the youth, having youth football teams, having community outreach programs, doing shit to build up the community. Stop looking for the politicians to do it. What is y'all dudes doing? Y'all ain't doing nothing but a bunch of talking and a bunch of this and a bunch of that, and I got the bag and I got this and I got that, but y'all ain't doing nothing. So this is why I say all of y'all dudes is frauds. Y'all all frauds. A lot of y'all is 40 and in y'all late 30s, 40 plus, 50 plus, talking a bunch of bullshit and ain't doing nothing, bro. It's real talk. And then y'all got the nerve to be coming on YouTube shitting on one nigga. Y'all all ganging up on one nigga, but y'all just like this dude. Y'all all scammers. Y'all all scammers. Every last one of y'all are frauds and scammers. Y'all no different than Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson is he's just slicker than y'all. He's a snake oil salesman, but y'all the same type of, y'all cut from the same type of cloth. All of y'all dudes that got all that to say about Umar Johnson is cut from the same cloth. That's up, y'all cut from the same cloth. He ain't doing shit for the community. Y'all ain't doing shit for the community. Y'all just do a whole bunch of talking and a whole bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see if y'all was doing something, like y'all was really in the community, really giving back, really out there feeding the homeless, out there feeding the youth, out there giving the programs to the youth, you know, spending that money, because a lot of y'all dudes say y'all got money, y'all got businesses, then why y'all ain't got no nonprofit programs for the community? Why y'all ain't got no nonprofit programs? All y'all talk about is this and that and how the community ain't shit, but y'all ain't got no nonprofit programs. All I be hearing is a bunch of shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's why y'all dudes, y'all sit on here, all y'all do is talk. Y'all talk. Y'all do this. This is all y'all do all day. Y'all talk. You know, that's all you do. That's all y'all do. Y'all don't sit there and set by example and try to solve the problem. Y'all not solving the problem with the community. Y'all get up here, y'all beef all day. Y'all talk about how tough y'all is. Y'all talk about y'all the street dudes. Y'all talk about how much money y'all get, how much these chicks y'all banging on. But y'all not doing anything to better your community as a whole. Y'all not trying to put in programs to try to do what you saying. Y'all not the celebrities, but what are y'all doing? Y'all not changing what the celebrities is doing. The celebrities is putting programs. They put money out there. What is you doing? Y'all talk about the celebrities and dissing and talk about Umar this and Umar that, but what are y'all doing? It's what it is, man. Like I said, man, I'm gonna be back. I'm not finished with this live. I'm coming right back. I'm going to be right back. Just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to be back with another live. And we're going to get into this dude, Dashawn Campbell. I'm going to talk about him. But like I said, these dudes here, man, they talk about Umar Johnson, but they all the same, man. Y'all all the same. Y'all all the same. Y'all no different. Umar Johnson, all of y'all are Umar Johnsons on steroids. The Dashawn Campbells, the Gully TVs, all of these dudes, the Anton Daniels, the Myrons, all of these dudes are all the same. They all grifters. They all grifters. They approach is selling a bunch of lies to people. They ain't helping nobody. They all the same. That's why they don't like me, cause I call them out. Y'all dudes is all the same. Ain't nothing different with y'all dudes. Y'all all the same. But I'm going to be right back real quick.